The Unwanted-Epilogue. If you ever want to achieve happiness, don't dwell on the past. Instead, start living. What is the point of obsessing over something that has already happened and that you cannot change? Live and be merry. My grandfather said these words to me during our last conversation the night I left our home in Nha Trang for Saigon in 1984. For years, I thought about his wisdom and tried to live by his advice. As much as I tried, I couldn't forget my past. The events that shaped me continued to weigh on my soul. In June of 1998, more than 14 years after I came to America, I graduated from the New York University College of Dentistry. That summer, as I waited to receive my license to practice, the nightmares I had kept at bay during the hectic years of my education returned to plague me with renewed intensity. The dreams came in waves once or twice a week. Sometimes they came in groups of 2 or 3. Often I dreamed that I was still on the streets of Saigon, trying to get the last of my documents signed. And across the city, the plane was leaving without me. Other times I saw myself drowning in the middle of a vast ocean. Above my head, pale corpses wrapped their limbs together to form a shield of flesh, preventing me from reaching the surface. I would awake, unable to shake my terror. Even during the daytime, the frightening images haunted me. I came to dread going to bed at night. Desperate to free myself from a deep depression, I decided to keep a diary of the dreams. Day after day, I sat in front of a computer, staring at its blank screen and toying with Luan's jade, which I wore on a chain around my neck. So many conflicting thoughts raced through my head. The early memories of my childhood, the years of hardship after the fall of Saigon, and the desperate preparations to leave the country. From the window of the library in the house in Soho where I now live, the old St. Patrick's Cathedral across the street became an austere companion. Somewhere in the church's attic, a bell tolled according to a preset timer. Its relentless noise penetrated my sanctuary, making it difficult to focus. One late night, while I sat at my computer, something strange happened. In the stillness of the room, the world around me seemed to disappear into the distance, and time too faded away. As a silkworm transforms into a caterpillar, so the furniture around me changed shape. The walls of the library slowly vanished, giving way to a noisy, crowded street. Beneath my feet, the wooden floor shifted into a burning pavement. Light bulbs grew into an enormous sun, and the church bell from outside sounded more like a series of explosions, assaulting my ears with the familiar sound of bombs and gunshots. I looked around the room, and as if in a dream, I was standing on a street corner in Saigon, watching a little boy among the faces of the people from my past. I knew then I was looking at myself, and through the eyes of this boy, I saw the events of my life unfold before me. I began to write. My reason for writing this book at first was purely personal. I just wanted to heal myself. But as the story progressed, I thought more and more about the other Amerasians I had encountered. I recalled the sadness of their desperate lives, which I had both witnessed and heard described in my early years. As dark as my memoir may be, it is not unique by any means. It's estimated that more than 50,000 Amerasian children shared my fate or worse. Their stories were all too common ones of terror and repression, abuse and neglect, strength, and ultimately, for the lucky ones, survival. I kept writing in hopes that these innocent victims' lost childhoods might finally be mourned and their buried secrets at last revealed. I completed The Unwanted on March 22, 2000, at the same time that the world observed the 25th anniversary of the end of Vietnam's conflict. I don't have the nightmares anymore.